Okay, it's a new day, and I've got this old pressure washer sitting around that the motor's no good on, and I'm saving the card for use, and I think maybe we'll try to put our recovery pump on it and see how that goes. So we'll be back in a bit. We'll get the motor taken off of this, and we'll be right back. I thought I'd bring you along for this. It looks like there's only a couple of bolts on the bottom of that. We'll take those off and see what we got to work with. Yeah. Set it here. I don't know if there's going to be any oil coming out of this when I knock it over, so put the box down. But it looks like we got something to work with here. See how our pump fits in there. I'm going to have to put a plate, piece of wood at this. I was hoping it would fit. The hole's a little too large, but we can still make this work. I think this will be really good. Yeah, let me get something to hold that on there, and we'll figure out how to bolt that down, and we'll be back. Turns out this old had an old rotor laying around that fit really nicely in this hole. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on there. I'm going to drill those 3 holes through this rotor. I'm going to bolt this on, and then we're going to set the pump up here. And I think that'll work out really nicely. Either we'll drill that rotor and tap it for a bolt or two, or we can actually go down through the, I think on an angle, through the existing bolts in the rotor and just use a couple of long bolts here to hold that in. I wish I had the rubber feet. These compressors usually come with a rubber grommet that goes in those holes, and then there's a little piece of metal that keeps that spacing, so when you tighten it down, it's sitting on the rubber. But obviously that's for when it's in your home, so it doesn't make any noise. For here, if we bolt it hard, I don't think the compressor is going to mind that much. So that's the plan. I'll get these holes drilled and we'll see how this looks. Maybe you're wondering why I'm doing all this outside. The lighting's just so much better. It'd be great if I could close the garage door and keep some of the noise out for you guys, but until I get some better lighting in the garage, I think this is what we're going to have to do, because the video kind of doesn't look great. So here's the plan. I got some welding clamps on that rotor. I'm going to flip it over. Maybe we can get it in the drill press. Maybe we'll have to do it by hand. I got a drill press here. Is it off camera? Yeah, it's about 1 million years old. And it's on a little dolly, and we're going to try to use that. Let me see if I can get you in here. We'll see how this works out for us. We have enough height here. We do. A little finagling, but I think we can do this. Just drill some 1/4-inch holes for some 1/4-inch bolts, and we'll see how it goes. I'm going to see if I can get something to fix this to the table. On this drill press, it's kind of old. The chuck's not so great, so I like to use these DeWalt bits with the flats on them. Chuck, it's a lot easier for the chuck to grab a hold of these, and they actually are a pretty good drill. What are they called? Pilot point, but these seem to cut really well. These DeWalt bits. I also have some Milwaukee red helix, which cut really well. But we'll break the DeWalts first. Let's see if we get this plugged in. Make sure that works. Okay. What I might do here is see. clamped all the way to the table. This is going to be kind of wet here. If I can get the arm to go down, hold it there. Yeah, I think that'll work fine. Since we don't have to be that precise, I think I'm just going to hold this. There's plenty of mass to stop it from rotating. I think. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. I don't know. Yeah, there's just not enough room for this to swing. Okay, I guess we're gonna go these by hand. I'm thinking since it's cast, it ought to drill pretty easily. But we'll see. I also have to be. Yeah, you guys can still see. We'll drill one hole, see how it goes. I'm not going to keep you here for all three, but I will at least let you see how this goes through this rotor. This drill has a hammer feature. I want to make sure that's off. Make sure I'm on low speed. And I would normally center punch this hole with a transfer punch, but we don't really need this to be in the center. Okay, feels like it's cutting pretty good. That was pretty easy. Maybe well, since they took a minute. Actually bent the drill. Well, that's surprising. Okay, we're back. We drilled our 3 holes. Going through that cast was pretty easy, like I thought. So let me grab some hardware and we'll bolt this up. Got some old hardware. I usually try to keep it reasonably sorted. See if these are going to. Oh, that's great. They're going to be long enough. 3 of these. Quarter-inch nuts. These are, they look like they're made out of candy. They're fine for this. I wouldn't put them on my car, but they'll be great for this. I don't even know if I'm going to use any washers. Yeah, just a little Loctite on them. And this is interesting stuff. I heard Eric from South Main Auto comment on this, and it was always my conundrum as well. Is you put this on, it's supposed to be anaerobic, which means it cures in the absence of oxygen. But they always tell you to put it on and let it set 10 minutes before you torque the bolts, which never made any sense to me. So we'll just put them on and tighten them up. But yeah. So I'm glad he mentioned that, because it always if anybody understands why that is, that'd be great to know, because I always used to do it, for any bolt that required it, just because that's what they said, but I never understood exactly why. We'll put these on and we'll have this bolted down. And then I have to decide how we're going to mount that pump, and we'll be back for that. Okay, we are back, and we're going to see. Right-handed, so I usually put equipment off to my right when I'm working, so I think I'd want the whatever I'm recovering on this side and the recovery bottle on this side. I think anyway for now. Let's see how we're going to mount this thing. You could put a couple clamps and just a couple pieces of metal and drill some holes in, and maybe thread this rotor and put that down. That might be a little fun to do. Almost make like kind of a toe clamp here and toe clamp here. Oh, I think this is the way we're going to do it. So we got to go back and get that Loctite. Okay, well there we are, all bolted up. The next step is to wire it all up, and then we can try it out. We'll see you in a little bit. Okay, I'm really happy with the way that turned out, but then I got to thinking it might be really nice to be able to mount this recovery bottle underneath. And I don't think I have enough clearance with the rotor hanging down. So we're going to see what else we can think about there. I may flip this rotor over. I don't know how that's going to, certainly not going to look as cool. Maybe there's room to have the rotor protrude from the bottom, but we'll take a look at that and get back to you. Okay, I think what I decided to do is it would be really nice to have the bottle all together on this. Mounted like this, of course, we'll mount that a little more permanently, but I do still have about a ½ inch of clearance on the ground. The issue is obviously that rotor won't slip in there anymore, so we're just going to see how much height do we really need to pick that up. Maybe it'll be as simple as just making a few standoffs, and we'll go ahead and we'll set this in and we'll see how close it is. And yeah, that's pretty high. That's a little higher than I wanted. Of course, if we flip that rotor over, we can mount it right down to the plate, and then come up with a new way to mount the compressor. Maybe we'll try that and be back. Okay, we're back. What we're going to do is we're going to cut this rotor right here along this line, so it'll still go on the stand just the way it was. Maybe inverted, I haven't decided yet. And then that bottle will fit under that tray nicely. I've never cut cast iron with torch before, so I thought, why not do it the first time on YouTube? If that doesn't work though, we do have a plan B. We'll get the Sawzall out. We also have a rotor cutter, but I think you know, like a muffler cutter, but I think that would take probably a long time, and I'd have to listen to that compressor run. So we're going to try this with the torch first and just cut it off as close as we can to this line. And again, I'm pretty sure you can cut cast iron with a torch. I just have never done it, so we'll give that a try. Okay, we're ready to light our torch. it's maybe there's a welder out there who can tell me what I was doing wrong there. I did manage to cut through it. I don't know if I'm going to go the rest of the way around with it because it's just taking so long. I'm sure either the tip's not big enough, or I don't have the technique, or don't know the technique to cut cast iron. But I couldn't maintain that cut. You know, the cut kept stopping on me. I'll either cut the rest of it with the torch because there's only maybe a third of it left now, or I'll maybe try to just do it with the Sawzall. So we'll be back. We're trying to find out, you know, different ways to cut this. My plan B was going to be the Sawzall, but I know that'll work. We're trying to do a couple little different things that we probably wouldn't do on our own if we were just doing this project. So I thought I'd take this. Actually, this is not a, I know it looks like an air chisel, automotive air chisel, but it's actually an aircraft riveter. I find that these triggers, if you can find one of these used, these are really expensive new, but if you can find one of these used like I did, this trigger has really feather control. You know, if you're trying to knock like inside of a car and you want to be really careful that you don't damage anything, you can really get some really fine control on this. This is still kind of hot, so but I'm going to take it easy right here and see, at least put a face shield on and see if we can just knock the rest of that apart. Actually, I decided to go. I decided to go with the face shield and a welding jacket because that is still pretty hot, and this is how many times I've worn that. Pull the trigger in that other glove too. So let's see what we get here. We just hit it a little bit. Oh, you'll notice this trigger too. I can really, if I'm leaning into it, I can really feather this. I can really, or I can hit it full bore. That may not be the best option. You know, I think I'll finish it with the torch. It's not that much more. Should be able to separate it with this now. Just thinking, oh, it's already off.